Welcome everyone to another episode of Trek Talk. I'm TechMan16.
I'm Kirk.
I'm Handy.
Shut up.
And today we're going to talk about people's butthurt feelings. Right, Kirk?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Depends on the reaction.
Yes. Alright, tell me. Give me some of that good old Kirk ass whipping so that we can get some butthurt people up on stage.
Let's talk about Dark.
Why?
Because my pedigree chums. Because recently, there has been. To be fair, I don't. I'm not like 100% on everything that went down. And so this is just what I'm seeing, but then I'm hearing from other people that it is becoming a regular thing from this particular group that, as we all know, in our glorious ROE, that you can hit a floating warship. So a big part of this would be, what would you consider floating? Like, obviously just sitting there hanging out, or can we hit other warships that are actively grinding in the same system? Anyway, it's more of a rhetorical question.
Warships are always fair game.
However, so warships are always fair game. However, we all know. We all know that if someone's actively grinding in the same system as you, and you just blow them up for whatever reason, I don't really care unless they're KOS, or I could understand if they started, chirping at you and the PM's just being a freaking general butthead. But like, if you blow them up because you're grinding and you don't want them grinding in the same spot, or you feel like they're taking your kills or whatever the case is, we know that's not cool. That's called being an asshole. And so what I have heard, obviously I wasn't there watching the whole system, but what I've heard is that one of the Commodores from Dark blew up somebody from Dead because they were grinding in the same system. And that apparently, I don't know if there are any messages exchanged, but what I'm gleaning from it is that they suspect that, or that they're saying that they believe they were blown up because the other person, this Commodore, felt like this person from Dead was snaking their kills, or something of that matter. And so I do some conversing yesterday, and I'm asking around to a few different people that I speak to. We all know who they are. I'm not going to bring their names into it because they'd rather not get involved in any more BS. We've had enough of that lately. But at least 2 out of the 3 people that I spoke to and sort of asked opinion about it. Well, all 3 people thought it was a dick move, but 2 of those people had experienced the exact same thing from that exact same alliance, Dark. And so I guess the question is that regular practice, just to try to dominate systems where you're grinding and trying to lock it down and being upset that other people are grinding there too? I guess, it's just a big question. And so, and of course, at this point, it's anecdotal evidence, but, when 3 out of 4 people say that they've experienced the exact same thing, it's like, that's at that point, it's kind of time to maybe think about it and discuss it. And then so that begs the bigger question. Is Dark becoming overly aggressive? I don't know.
They've always been overly aggressive.
I'm talking about as it pertains to like just the general gameplay. When I was in Dark, it was not socially acceptable to just blow up people grinding in the same system as you. I'm telling you, it was not. I was there for like about a year or so. It was not. Tech may be able to say different. He was there a little bit longer than I was. So maybe he can say whether that was acceptable. But I recall several conversations that are sticking into my brain, especially with my terrible memory, where people were doing that, and they were saying, hey, that may be within ROE, but that's not cool. Like, you're just going to start problems. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, well, let's be real here. The reality is every single person that plays this game is a hypocrite. We have all said one thing and done another at one point or another, because it's just a game and we do things on a whim. And since it's not real life, people just tend to kind of every once in a while just do whatever they feel like. Not too many extremes, but every once in a while you might blow somebody up. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that stick to their morals 100% of the time, but for the rest of us normal folk,
You're saying it was a Commodore, Kirk?
Yes, this is apparently was a Commodore. So
I know about one of their players that has done that.
But so this is why it was kind of I'm not going to say disturbing because I don't give a shit. It's a damn game, right? But it's interesting. I'll say that it's interesting to see that where is that okay now? Is that what we're going to have to deal with? Are we going to have to fight to be able to grind in systems if they're there? Is that a regular practice that's condoned? And that's the thing. That's going to add another kind of element to how we interact with each other, because as we remember several podcasts ago, there was a team that was on some representatives, and they said that there was a regular thing that they did, and we were chastising them for it. So,
well, of course we were. It's counterproductive.
Exactly. So are we seeing that in our server? Are we going to have to start dealing with that? Are we going to, be preemptively, if we go to a system and we want to grind, do we see somebody from Dark, we're going to have to bring a warship and just to defend ourselves while we try to, eke out our grinding? Or, what I'm saying? It's just, there's a lot of questions that it kind of comes up, because that's going to add another element to the game, where, it's going to become increasingly difficult for people to grind, because let's face it, a lot of the systems in which we grind are pretty popular. Like the deep space systems even now are starting to get to the point where when I first got to deep space, I could grind, 42s, 43s, 44s or whatever. And there might be one other person occasionally hitting someone. They just kind of had a floater and they were just logging in occasionally. But now it's getting to where, there's 4, 5, 6 people in there. So is this something we're going to have to deal with? Is this going to be a new element that we're going to have to start talking about? As we were talking about the OPL and the different miners and stuff like that. Are we going to have to start talking about literally PvPing just to finish our PvE stuff? Or is this just a thing? Maybe some people got out of hand a little too big for their britches, and and that's just a sort of thing that happens. So
sure it's the latter.
But hope
So
so.
Lethal, what's up, man? How's it going?
Doing good, man. Who is it, Kirk?
I'm not saying on here.
Okay.
I'll tell you off air. I don't want to out people, because a lot of these people I don't personally have a problem with. And if I don't want to throw their names out there and they feel some type of way. But if they're listening to this right now, they know exactly who they are.
Okay. Fair enough.
So,
just kind of weird to throw it out there like that, but not say who it is,
No, I don't think so at all, especially if it's one of these things where we don't know exactly what was going on.
Okay. Fair enough, man.
It's speculation at this point.
Yeah, are you in Dark right now, Lethal?
I'm not. Nope.
Oh, okay.
I'm visiting Nona.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm in Dead for a couple of days, just over there messing around, just hanging out.
Cool.
So anyway, that was one of the things, and it's just not just something to discuss. That's what we do here. So it's something to think about. And hopefully it is the latter, as you said, Handy. And I'm sure it is, because if it's the former, man, this game's gonna suck real fast.
Well, I gotta believe that our collective server as a whole, I've always thought and felt that we're a little more evolved, a little like at least the people that are powerful and talk to each other and are friends. Higher level people that kind of set the tone for the server, as
you
it were.
say we're a little more evolved. Come on now.
A little more evolved. just a touch.
You're not helping your position. People are like, listen to this pompous asshole.
Probably not.
At least I'm a known prick. You're.
I could be a prick too. What are you talking about?
Oh my god! Anyway, so anyway, everybody else is waiting.
I didn't finish my goddamn thought, motherfucker.
Nobody cares. So, Tech, what do you think about the current situation?
I think this reminds me of Server 9, where if you're grinding,
Kirk.
Yeah, so if you're grinding on server 9, then well, it used to be that way. Now it's changed a little bit, but it used to be like if you're grinding, and somebody goes through swarm space with a jellyfish just to blow up Franklins, might as well warp out your Franklin.
Yeah, now I forgot what I was going to say. I muted Kirk to get all ready to say what I was going to say, and now I can't remember.
Oh my god. You're so
I am curious about who it is. Basically, looking at Dark's Commodore roster, I could take a fairly educated guess about who you're talking about.
I would bet it's Kevin, because I know he likes to drink.
No, look. Here's the deal.
No,
things happen when you're drinking.
Look.
That's true. Kevin does a few things when he's drunk that he doesn't remember.
Yeah, but the point that I'm trying to make is not that extreme. Like you were talking about, like warping in with a jellyfish to blow up Franklins. Like that wasn't it. There was two people grinding the same thing in the same system with warships, and one of them blew the other one up because I guess they were sneaking kills from or whatever. You know what I mean?
But we've all done that, haven't we?
The only time that I've ever done that is when someone was trying to troll me, and then you send them a message like, dude, what the heck, and they're like, you'll get over it, and then I'm like, okay, well, you'll get over this, and then that's when it happens. I've never just like, hey man, had a conversation and just decided I was going to do it, or not even PM them. I've never done that, because I still have people to this day. People to this day will take kills that I was going to try to get, and oh well, they just got there faster. They'll respawn in a couple seconds. Like, it'll be fine. Like, it's not a big deal.
Right. I mean, I would like to think 99% of the time, most people do exactly that.
Yeah, and they do. You watch it. I mean, I've had, I've jumped in front of even some not paying attention and some trying to get to it because I needed those kills and I had a limited amount of time. I've jumped in front of some really high level players that could have just buried my shit, and they just went on to the next one. So I'm with you. Hopefully it's the latter, but maybe me bringing some attention to it and us discussing it and people hearing about it, that activity is not going unnoticed. Maybe that'll, maybe that in and of itself will try to, for lack of better terminology, keep honest people honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
So,
but
if nobody
to your
talks
point,
about it, then nobody talks about it.
However, to your point, Kirk, Dark is going to dark, right? So if they stay outside in their own bubble, which they have for the majority of the time that I've been in Dark, then if a particular person is pissed off, whatever, grinding, you snake kills, it's just going to keep continuing again and again and again. And nobody's really going to address it. Let's be honest. If it's a person who's a level, let's say 46, 47, it's just not going to happen.
Well, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I like to think that something would happen, that somebody would have a conversation. But at the end of the day, as I said, maybe at least us bringing some attention to that stuff going on may help to kind of curb some of it. A lot of people will do things and not think twice about it. But then when everybody starts talking about it, then they're like, I'm starting to be the center of attention and doesn't feel very good. And maybe that'll cause them to kind of ease off the gas as far as that was concerned. So hopefully, something comes out of it, and if not, then, I mean, rest assured, if I notice, which I'm not like Handy, I'm not talking to everybody at once, but if I do see that type of stuff keeps happening, I will put names on blast. I have in the past, but just because at this point, I don't know everything that went down. There's two people that know exactly what happened, and I'm not one of them. So just because I heard a story doesn't mean I'm going to take and throw everybody's name out there. I'm not freaking, I don't work for CNN or Fox News. I'm not trying to get the 6 o'clock story here and, win a prize. But just maybe if they hear it, and this person, I'm pretty sure, listens to the podcast. If this person hears it, maybe it'll, be like, damn, maybe that was a dick move or whatever the case may be. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it from that.
All right, but let's talk about it. And I'll ask Handy and Lethal this, but if a level 46 or a level 47, or my favorite level 49 individual that loves targeting my base for whatever reason, if they're going to go do this and hit people while they're grinding, what's going to prevent them? I mean, nobody's going to police them, if you will, and they have the power to do whatever the hell they want. So what is going to be the consequence for somebody to keep on doing that?
Well, it's just a normal consequence, like we all have. I mean, if you upset enough people on the server, or you bring enough attention to yourself, people will do something about it.
But what is that? I mean, like, again,
I would say at the very least, the lower level players on that alliance are going to suffer, because we've seen it before. If I can't get to you, I'll get to your teammates. So now you're going to have teammates that are going to be getting blown up because of something the bigger teammates doing. You know what I mean? It just trickles downhill.
Well, I mean, sorry, I was distracted for a sec. At any rate, so typically what happens in my experience is, I mean, like look at Key, for example. You know, what ends up happening is a bunch of people talk about it, then he gets bugged about it, and then it just becomes distasteful. It's like, fuck, I don't even want to do this shit that I like to do because people just keep bitching. And then people go, it ain't worth it. So, like, 9 times out of 10, just talking about it or complaining about it really is enough to get people to stop doing the thing.
You heard it here first, folks. Handy says everyone turn into Karen and ask for money.
Exactly. It fucking works. I don't know what to tell you. It just goddamn works.
Well, good job, Handy. You're encouraging everybody on the server to be a bunch of Karens. But to your point, I think Key is a special case. Key is not, he's been the center of attention for a long time on the server. I'm pretty sure the person Kirk's referring to has never been in the limelight for any reason whatsoever. And
so it was probably just a one-off.
I understand, but I'm just saying, let's assume the worst. Let's assume the pattern of behavior keeps on going. Dark isn't going to kick somebody that's a level 46, 47 from their alliance. They have to willingly leave on their own. What are you going to do about it?
That's not true at all. Dark would kick somebody if they were enough of a pain in the ass. But if they're
at a high enough
member, level? No, it doesn't matter. Level is irrelevant.
Are you sure?
Not completely irrelevant, but yeah, for a top team, yeah, I mean, you'll kick somebody even if they're high level. Sure. Nobody's above the rules, as it were.
I don't know, man. I just don't know.
I will tell you this: higher level players obviously get a lot more rope. You know what I mean? They get a lot more slack. They get away with a lot more. That's for sure.
Anyways, let's transition to something more dumb. How did you like Scopely's new roadmap?
Actually, unpopular. Here's a hot take. I actually thought pretty much all those ideas were good.
The ideas are good. It's all about execution, right?
Yeah, which they're horrible at. So we'll just assume it's going to be a clusterfuck.
Because I remember going back to Territories, when Territories first came out. Everybody was like, oh my god, it's in every other game, and it's going to be so amazing, and it's going to be so awesome, and we've clamored for this, and we wanted it, and what did we get? We got Territories. And it was bad. And it still is bad. So, as much as, I read it, and I had, oh wow, cloaking ships for Romulans and Klingons, Deep Space Nine's coming, crew presets, second repair queue. Like
presets is going to be awesome.
Like, yeah. I want to say, oh my god, this is going to be awesome. And then I realized, wait a minute, ding, light bulb, this is Scopely. Somehow, some way, it's just going to be horrible, and to me, it's too little, too late. I mean, with guys like Nash leaving and guys like, Dark said bye to Hong Kong Fooey, who's a level 42. I mean, I can't imagine that there's so many more people that are joining the game for the fun of this than there are spenders who are leaving.
I'll say that when looking at those things, the one thing that I have watched, and it's a slow progression, but the what Scopely is doing now as compared to what they were doing even 6 months ago, a year ago, to me is a drastic improvement. And there are a lot there. It seems like they're trying to move in the right direction while maintaining the ability to make money. And that's, of course, that's what they're going to do. Like, this is literally a free to play game. The only way that they make money is people buying packs. That's it. If nobody spent money, this game wouldn't exist. So, they have to have that revenue stream. Do they have to make that much money? Look, I don't know. That's not what I'm here to talk about. But what I am saying is it seems like they're doing a lot better job as time progresses, balancing quality of content and availability to them still being able to make the money. And so looking at what they're planning on doing and the things they're planning on rolling out, I choose to be optimistic, because a lot of the things that they've done, I think are very beneficial. The next generation officers, I mean, I was looking in an Armada. I was in an Armada a day, 2 ago, whatever. And I was looking at someone who was using a Riker combo as compared to my 5/6 con combo. And I was looking at the numbers, and I'm sure someone like Darius or someone who crunches the numbers would be able to say something different. But this person, what they had to do to get Riker and the amount of time they had to spend to get Riker, plus the other officers for the synergy, as compared to me using my, the good old traditional 5/6 con combo, they were doing approximately 1,000 more damage than I was per shot initially. And then once we got to the end, every one of my shots were critical, and I was doing infinitely more damage. So, looking at stuff like that, I'm like, man, it just kind of seems like an epic failure to me.
Well,
but
it's looking at it early on, sure. But here's the thing you got to realize. All these officers are all bottom tier, most likely, or close to it. And eventually, they'll get leveled up. And when they're at the same level, it'll get better. But for now, yeah. I mean, it's not all that much better. It's just going to take time to get there.
Well, the point I was making is that it's not.
But they're a great second tier. It's a backup team. It's like your main ship has your main staple officers, and your backup, your secondary ship for armadas is the one that runs the new officers or something. Like, right. I don't think anybody's using it as their primary. If they are, they're just fucking around, or they don't know better at this point.
Yeah. But like I said, the point that I'm making is, like, overall, though, with the things that they've done, I think they're kind of moving in the right direction. Like the new Franklin, there's a couple people grumbling about it, but dude, it's kind of nice to be able to get a pretty significant amount of RSS every day with those new particles or swarm minerals or whatever the hell they are, biominerals. And I use that, on the daily basis. I get my 300 whatever million par steel and my 30 million tritanium and all that stuff. I do that stuff every day as often as I can. And so stuff like that, it seems like they're really trying to kind of throw a bone to the, not just lower levels, but the people who don't spend as much. And they're also trying to roll out content that is going to still, net them some income, but also it's going to be fun. So I choose to be optimistic, because quite frankly, I'm sick of complaining, and I'm sick of being a whiny bitch, and I'm sick of hearing other people bitch. So I'm choosing to be optimistic and try to look at the positive. And so I think that, a lot of people probably have this grand idea for the cloaking device. I can guarantee you it's not going to be what you think it is. It's not.
Well, yeah, as soon as you fire a weapon, it's going to go away. It's going to be something. It's literally going. I don't know, but here's something to consider. Let's say it's a territory capture. Can you stay cloaked and just sit there throughout the whole TC, gaining points and nobody can see you? I mean, that doesn't make sense.
Not. That's
so
not going to happen.
What are they going to do? It's going to be a timer.
Yeah, there's going to be a cooldown. There's going to be a timer.
Yeah, so it's going to be borderline useless, guys.
There's also going to be, like in most games, if you sit still with the timer, yes, you will be cloaked. But if you move, you will still see a ripple through space. You can't hit it, but you could see the ripple. That's what's going to happen. That's how it is in most games, and that's how it's going to work.
I can absolutely see, just like anything, like take Fallout for example. You can get the stealth boys where it renders you basically invisible. It's only useful for a certain amount of time, and then like Handy was saying, if you fire a weapon or you attack someone or you bump into something, then that's when it's going to be, you're going to be, your ass is going to be had. But I can see it probably working for something along the lines of like raiding, like you leave your base and activate your cloak. Well, they can't blow you up before you get to it, and then you can use some sort of speed crew or whatever, and then zip back to your base after you attack. I could see it being useful for certain engagements and stuff like that. But you're hearing all these people talking about, oh, you're not going to be able to. People will just be grinding while they're cloaked and shit. Like, no, that's not how it's going to work. It's going to be impossible. They're not going to do that. Then people are just going to be able to. Everybody's just going to cloak, and nobody's going to be able to attack anybody. It's not going to make any freaking sense, guys.
I'm not very excited about the cloaking device thing, but I am excited about officer presets.
Oh yeah.
But I'm interested to see how they're going to work that in with away teams, because a lot of your preset guys you're probably going to send on away teams, and it's going to get kind of screwed up a little bit. So I'm kind of curious about how they're going to implement that.
You probably just won't be able to use that preset. It'll probably just have a message say, this, just like when you go to select an officer to upgrade them and they're on a ship or whatever, like, oh, this officer is not docked or whatever the message is. It'll probably just be like that. Like,
actually,
you can't.
The message will be subspace interference. Can't complete the action.
It'll be whatever. It'll be something like that. But I still think
you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good.
Transaction failed. So I think that the officer presets is still, it's going to be great. I think that the cloaking device is going to be useful in its own way in certain periods, just like the exo comps are somewhat useful. Like I use the experience all the time to grind ship experience. I use the mining exo comps during events, and I use some of the other speed ups and stuff like that. It's not that significant of an improvement. However, it does add up over a period of time if you continue to use them. So I think that they're going to figure out a way to make it work. Just like anything, people always have this expectation, and then their expectation is just not going to meet the reality of it, because their expectation is that it's going to be the best thing in the world, but the best thing in the world for you is not going to be how Scopely is going to be able to market it and make money. So you have to find that somewhere in that middle ground where they're still going to be able to make boatloads of cash, but you still have a useful ability or an option or a feature. And that's just what we're going to have to look for.
Yeah, I can't imagine myself paying for another repair queue, though.
I wouldn't.
Like, I am not short on repair speed up, so
Yeah,
I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah, I don't know that I would. It might be
the completionists will get it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the building and the research, like that was, of course, and it was, fairly cheap, like like $5 or whatever it was. And so of course those are very useful, because especially now with research, I usually have one really long research going, and then I use the other one for little short bursts research, so I can kind of complete like one a day or one every couple of days or something. So
I still don't have the second research queue.
It's useful. It really is.
I'm sure it is. I bought the building one, which was $5. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, great. And then they came out with the research one, and they're like, oh, hey, since everybody bought this, here's one for $20. I'm like, nah.
That's right. Yeah. It took me a while to get that one. I think it took me a few days to finally go, you know what, I'm going to get it, because then I started talking to other people and they said the same thing. Once you get to your, around 40 or whatever, where most of your research is taken, 45, 50, 60 plus days. And then you still have these other small researches that take, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever. It's useful to have one where you can just kind of hit research and let it run, and then have the other one to do for your smaller ones, and then speed them up as you need. So it is beneficial to have both of them. It sucks that it was $20, but it's one of those things. It's our favorite saying in this game. It is what it is, and it's not like we're going to change it. But Tech, whenever you're done covering this, I do have something else to bring up, because I said I had a couple things, and this is going to be definitely content worthy, and it's not like I'm going to try to pick a fight, but it was something that I noticed, and I've discussed it with a couple of people, and it's something that I wanted to bring up. So whenever you're ready for it.
All right, Driift. Last thoughts on Scopely roadmap.
That's it for me. It's my excitement.
By the
I'm
way,
excited for the new arc.
Tacos, I love your messages, man. Keep them coming. Is this your first time here? I don't necessarily recognize the name. You might have listened to us before.
Who is this?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Guy from server 41. He's in the audience. Tacos. Anyways, Kirk, go ahead. You can talk about your new controversial topic.
So, as we all know, recently Nona took a territory from. Who do we take a territory from, Handy?
Koba.
Okay. So we took a territory. And man, they came at us. When I say they, I mean collectively, like half the server came at us with razor blades and lemon juice. And I mean, it was like people were just, it was bad. I mean, Nonas, they're bullies and they're liars and all these other things. Okay. Here's the point that I like to make, and anybody can challenge me on it, and I'll provide audio clips that goes to show you're wrong, and then I'll expect a public apology. Everybody knows that I am a pretty neutral person. I call it, I'm honest, I call it like I see it. I don't pull punches. I'm in Nona, and I've chastised Nona for doing certain things. Handy knows this. Everybody knows this. I'm going to say what I believe and what I think is right or wrong as it pertains to the game and fairness and da-da-da-da. That being said, recently I've been discussing with a couple people that apparently Bold has taken a territory from Rogue. And I just wanted to bring up the fact that the only reason I heard about it was through a passive conversation. Like, it wasn't even a big deal. They're like, oh, da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, yeah, and then, they got that thing Bold and Rogue. Well, what do you mean? Well, Bold took one of Rogue's territories. Am I correct? You all should know. Wasn't it Rogue? They took a territory from Rogue.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so my it's not I'm not upset or whatever, my question is, how can you chastise one alliance for going in and swooping in and taking somebody's territory unannounced, and then a couple of weeks later, or a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever, you go and do the same thing? And the funny thing is, nobody's crying about it. Nobody's bitching about it. I'm not hearing anything. I'm sure there might be a couple upset people, but the usual suspects that are always out there, protesting for better lunch meat or whatever the fuck it is they do. I'm not hearing anything out of any of these other people. So I'm curious, how can you justify rattling all the pots and pans and banging the gong about Nona doing something, and then you turn right around and do it? And if you look at the response, nobody's crying about that, but everybody's crying about Nona taking this. You see what I'm saying? It's like, what is there a double standard? Should Nona be required to live up to a different standard, or is it simply the fact that you don't like Nona for whatever your personal issue is, and so anytime they do something, you're going to look for a reason for it to be wrong and rally around that? And the like the online meme, orange man bad thing, obviously it's not the same situation, but that type of thing, you know, like Nona bad, Nona bad, Nona bad, Inko bad man, Handy asshole, you know, like these things that people just they love to do. And so I wanted to bring that up, and anybody who knows any more about it than I do, which is probably everyone, you know, I'd like to hear that discussed because I don't know that much. This is just things that I'm hearing, things that I'm seeing, and I wanted to bring that up and figure out why it's so what's up with the unbalanced response.
I'd say it's pretty typical.
Like, what do you mean? Like, you mean just kind of like it's something that's to be expected because everybody hates Nona or something, or?
No, it's just people like to point fingers, and it's rarely at themselves. And where do you usually point a finger? Up. So, you know, naturally all the fingers point up.
But it's just the bold BD, as I shall collectively refer to them, because it's like frick and frack. You shoot one, you got to cut the other. The bold BD there seemed to be so up in arms about Nona taking the territory from someone who they honestly, as far as I could tell, didn't even give a shit about prior to. And it's very much like the people that are offended on other people's behalves just because it's their.
Now that you bring it up, you know what seems really funny to me is we took a system that was very inconsequential. I mean, it was important to Koba, but not important to really anybody else in TC. Like, it wasn't like a linchpin system or right in the center or a system that a bunch of people shared, or it was nothing like that. However, Niramer is literally a system that every alliance on the server is swapping through and sharing to get Metreon. And Bold takes it. And Bold
got
takes
Metreon.
It. Yes, it's a level 3 system. And what's funny about this is we take an inconsequential system, which wasn't a huge deal except to Koba. Of course, it's a big deal to them. And then Bold takes a system that's important to literally every single alliance on the server that is moving around to these different systems, and nobody says shit. I find that incredibly interesting.
It's super hypocritical, and you know, again, this is anybody listening, and you know, oh, Kirk is so biased or whatever. You're full of shit because during the big OPL war deal, I on record said that a lot of that stuff was silly, and I thought that wasn't cool. And I'm in the fucking alliance, so go back and listen, and you know, fix your head because that's the God's honest truth. I think it's super hypocritical. How can you make such a big deal about it and call everybody names? And on this, you know, we have this TC server and everybody's calling each other names and all these other things, and just generally being assholes and trolls, and then return right around and engage in the exact same behavior that you claim to be against, and all this stuff. I'm not saying that Nona was right for taking the system. I'm not saying they were wrong for taking the system, but I'm talking about the hypocritical nature of what's going on. I think it's, quite frankly, I think it's bullshit, and I think it's pretty silly, and I really. I think that those people involved should really take a step back and think about how they're reacting to Nona, and then look at their own actions. And because had Nona done that, I mean, people would have tried to declare war on Nona. Like, oh my God, you're such big bullies. But then somebody else does it and nobody whines about it. And this is where the self-reflection should come into play. Those of you who are sort of quote unquote neutral and that are not whining about this, that you have whined about Nona taking the system from Koba, why aren't you whining about Bold taking the system? Well, we know the answer is because you're biased.
Not only are they biased, but because we did it first, I'll bet you there's a lot of people out there that are thinking to themselves, this is Nona's fault too.
Yeah, Nona started it.
I will guarantee you there are people out there that are thinking to themselves, Bold did it because of Nona. It's Nona's fault. Which is absolutely freaking ridiculous. How could you possibly think that?
Yeah,
Everybody
I'm
is responsible for their own actions. 2 wrongs do not make a right. Your mommy and daddy should have taught you that when you were like 3 years old.
Tech, what do you think about it? Because you're super neutral. I mean, you're not even a part of any of those alliances, and you're like me. You're very truthful. You're not gonna be biased at all. So, or what do you think about it?
Well, I guess this is why I like being where I am, because I don't have to deal with any of this shit anymore. But the only reason I even heard about Nona taking a territory is because I talked to you guys more than I talked to anybody from Bold. So I was just like, to me it's kind of like, all right, well, Nona's a top alliance. They're always going to have a target on their back. So even if it's a small thing, they're going to get chastised for it. But I do think it is bad, and I think it was a poor move on the choice of Bold to take a territory that people cycle through, especially with the whole TC rearrangement map that everybody does. But even though I think Bold is part of that, is it not?
No. They have been
They're not?
involved in the conversations. They have swapped with most, but they have not swapped with everybody else. They have dropped systems before. They've done a lot of really good things. They've dropped systems for other alliances. They have helped support other alliances in moving. They've done a lot of good things for the server. They have sacrificed. They've dropped down to like 3 systems before, I think. So they've done a lot of great things. Why they chose to do this, your guess is as good as mine. But I really, truly believe they did it just in response to what we did, which, in my opinion, just goes to show how petty they can be. Because that's just, I mean, let's face it, that's an extremely petty reason to completely just ditch your values to do something in response to another alliance that took a system that has nothing to do with you. And to use the excuse that, well, Nona did it, so we can too. So why not?
To be fair, do we know the reason why they took the territory?
No, of course not. I'm just speculating.
Okay, so
well, I
again,
did ask actually.
Okay, and
hang on. The answer I got: we didn't create the Discord to bring teams together. Was comment number 1. We're not part of any trade agreements. Was number 2. TC is made for PvP. Was number 3. We've been cordial about it and offered Rogue a 12-hour respite to vacate the remaining stations. They accepted. And the 5th comment, it helped our team. Those are their reasons.
Well,
or comments.
I mean,
Which
I can't.
Which I get. I understand. I can't argue with any of that. Those are the exact same reasons I gave for why we did what we did.
But those weren't good enough.
No, they were not.
Well,
which is why I came out publicly and said I thought it was a mistake. You know, I didn't think those reasons were good enough to take a system. But, you know, but we had already done it. We had decided to do it, and we did it.
Well, I would like to. Go ahead.
No, you finish your thought.
I would like to pose a challenge then, because a lot of what I saw was that, well, if you think it's a mistake, then you should give the territory back. Here's my thing. If you want to prove that you're so much better than Nona, which your track record is not It does not indicate that. If you want to prove you're so much better than this alliance, why don't you give that fucking system back? Show us that you really do stand by your principles and that you guys are like the 1950s Superman comic books. I'm here to save you, citizen, or whatever you think of yourself, the champion of the people.
So here's another comment from Bold. Here's a quote. It's my understanding some other teams are moving in to take it. Not sure when that'll happen, but when it does, we'll hand it over. So, I mean, the way I read that is when somebody comes to challenge it, they're going to give it back. So whoever challenges it, they're going to give it back. They're not going to defend it. That's how I read that. So technically, Rogue could just go back and take it back, and they're not going to defend. That's how I read that, right?
I mean, I can definitely see where you glean that from that comment. So
I mean, I also asked if they had anything against Rogue, and Coma said not at all. They're a great group. Okay, well, if they have nothing against Rogue, then if Rogue comes to take it and their desire, their standing, you know, their position is we're going to give it to whoever comes to take it, then great. Rogue can just take it back next week. And Mars, you are not part of this podcast. Stop yipping at me.
the dog has something to say.
Yes, he does. A lot
If
to
their
say.
whole point was just to have a PvP day, then I think that's great.
That's
if they
fine.
actually would give it back.
Even with the surprise attack,
Yeah,
I'm cool
I mean
with
that's
it. But
part of the game.
the way I read that is they're happy to give it back. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if Rogue, I would assume is going to try and take it back next week, or maybe they're not. Maybe they're scheduled to move out. I really don't know.
Does it?
I mean,
have any...
everybody likes to think that I'm the grand master puppeteer, moving all the alliances around the board. But all I've ever done is just maybe once a month or three. I'll jump into a conversation and help just voice things, and people go, yeah, cool, sounds good, and then that's it. I don't get involved at all.
Because Handy is the master of puppets, pulling your strings, twisting your mind, and smashing your dreams. So
I have no desire for that at all.
So one more thing. I have one more thing on that, and this is a rhetorical question. I can't answer. I don't know, and I'm not. It's not an accusation. It's simply a thought. Did they take it because it was beneficial, or did they take it because Nona moved out and made room for Rogue to go there, so they felt like they were going to get back because they can't challenge Nona? Let's be honest. They can't challenge Nona, but they can take a territory from this other alliance that Nona helped. That's the question.
I mean, I'd say it's fairly obvious.
I don't know.
They have literally been sitting next to that system for how long? They've been in that same territory since the very beginning of territory capture, and they have never shown any interest in that system. But now all of a sudden, it's something they want and need and helps their alliance.
And here's the thing:
okay,
they could have been looking at it they could have been looking at it like the entire time, but because Nona was occupying it or whatever, or some other big team was occupying it, they knew that they couldn't challenge them head on to take it. And now that Rogue's there,
nobody more powerful than them has ever held that spot. It has always been alliances less powerful from them.
Did most not hold that spot at some point?
No.
Okay. Well, maybe and maybe that is the case. I mean, maybe I'm onto something there. And again, I don't know. None of us know for sure. But
no, we don't.
It's just
this is all speculation. But
it's all speculation.
I would say it's a hypothesis.
Yeah,
a fairly educated guess.
I still stand behind my challenge. If you feel like if you feel so strongly about your positions and what you're telling Nona that you should do, then relinquish it and give it back to Rogue. And let's see if that's what you're really about, or are you just like every other alliance and you want your alliance to succeed? Because I'm willing to bet that the second is going to be what it really is.
Either that or it's a very close second.
And
But
yeah,
I have no problem with alliances doing what's best for them. But if you're gonna come out and you're gonna say this and that and the other, I don't know. But here's the thing: I can relate because I've come out and very vocally said, everybody should share and blah 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 blah, because I believe that. I do. And the cold hard truth is we're an alliance of many, and most people have no problem being selfish, and that's totally fine and acceptable in my opinion. I mean, this is a game where it's designed for you to be selfish and do what's best for your alliance, and I agree that at the end of the day we should always do what's best for our alliance first. But if we can also help people and help other alliances, we should. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not help other alliances? Why not help other players in the game get what they need? All it does is help build up, other people in the game and create opponents and other players that are succeeding and can play the game along with you. I mean, by being 100% selfish and only doing what's best for your alliance and only being an isolationist and whatnot, I mean, you're really not. I mean, what's the best way to say it? I mean, look at the servers that have gone that way, that have gone 100% selfish. They only worry about their own alliance and screw everybody else. What happens on those servers? Everybody leaves the freaking game. People stop playing.
Yeah, because nobody's getting what they need to progress.
It's counterproductive. I mean, you want to have a good gameplay experience, then when it doesn't, hurt your team, help other alliances, and really, Bold, us, lots of other teams do exactly that. I think our server has done an extremely good job at doing just that, at helping other teams. We really have. So I think we're succeeding in that department. I really do. So as long as we keep down that road, I think our server will continue to grow, continue to be one of the strongest servers there is in the US, and we'll all have fun. It's all good.
You hear about you guys have these other servers come on. They talk about these perma wars they're in. Like, imagine not being able to mine, like, for a year or something, or however long it's taken these guys to have a war. You're pretty much war in this game is just, dry hitting your miners for the most part. And then imagine not being able to mine. Like, you couldn't progress in that way. That's just one example.
Right.
So it's very helpful to yourself. It's selfish to help other people, in a way.
Maybe, but you're still helping other people, whether it's for selfish desires or not. You can, use it whatever excuse you want to use.
Yeah.
Either you want to help people just for just for the sake of helping people, or you want to do it to strengthen the server, or you just want stronger people to beat up on. I don't know. You find whatever reason works for you and do it, because it's beneficial for all of us. And not to mention, I don't know if anybody's seen that announcement that we're going to have alliances from completely different servers coming onto our server and into our territories to blow us up and steal our shit. That's literally, they announced it in their roadmap.
Yeah.
That we're going to have people, not a merger, but people literally just popping in randomly to beat us up and take our stuff. Now, if that isn't a time for us to band together and help each other out, regardless of our differences, I don't know what is. I mean, We're all one server. We should all be one team. I mean, in situations like that, we should totally all come together and help defend each other. Why not? It'd be ridiculous not to, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they're going to have it as events, so there's going to be something to gain by doing so as well.
Right. So, and it just comes back to, like, when you get in one of those situations where you need help, who are you going to ask? Like, who are you going to go to? Are you going to, who's going to be in the best position to help you? Some of these teams that you criticize for being number one or for being stronger than you are or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
when
probably
you
the
need
people you want.
particles,
It's probably the
you
people
need
you want at your
jellyfish.
back.
Yeah. You're going to need stuff from other people. And are they going to be there to help you?
Just so I would encourage people to keep that in mind and don't, burn all your bridges. Any ideas, Kirk? Any thoughts?
Not really. To be honest, I know it's pretty rare for me to say that, but I mean, like all this stuff we've been talking about. I mean, it's just like this stuff is going to continue to happen. The only thing that I'm doing is like being like what's his name, Chief Wiggum's kid or whatever. The fucking not Chief Wiggum's kid, the other one, the bully. The like that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing is I'm pointing the finger and laughing because so many people are up in arms about other people, but then it's perfectly okay for them to do it. It's justification for them to do it. It's like that's all I'm doing is I'm calling people out, and they can be upset all they want to. I don't look, man. I don't care. I don't get deeply involved into the politics on this. I do know the things that go on, but I don't get crazy involved in it because it's always the same story. It's always, well, yeah, they did it, and we said they were bad guys, but we did it, but we're not bad guys because we did it for a different reason, so it's okay. I mean, in actuality, you did it for the exact same reason. You're just trying to manipulate the data to be skewed in your favor. And so I'm kind of over it, man. I just wanted to call out those things because that's what we do on this show. So, let the butthurticus spread around, I guess.
Yeah, well.
Did you say the butthurticus?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
That the technical term is butthurticus maximus.
Right. Actually, that's a pretty good interpretation of that. I like it. Butthurticus maximus.
So that's pretty much it. I really wish we had somebody in the audience from one of those alliances that would be able to come up here and respond. But
I'm sure if we get Cat and Mal, we'll get Smooth on at the same time. I think it'll be hilarious.
Oh, Jesus.
That sounds like it would be a clusterfuck.
Dude, okay, so in lighter news, my weak ass is the most powerful person in this alliance that I'm in, and it feels really strange. I don't think I like it.
What, you're in Dead?
Why not?
Just because I feel like I don't know. I just don't like it. It's hard. I don't know how to put it into words. I enjoy being. I'm like jazz. I enjoy fading into the background when I need to. Like I don't want to be at the top of anything. I really don't. But as it pertains to this game, I don't want to be anywhere.
He's an underachiever.
No, I mean, obviously in real life, I'll go ham. But with this, it's weird. It's interesting. So, it is. I'm also, and again, this is nothing against the folks in Dead. They are awesome people. For me, being able to see the difference between like events and participation is definitely night and day, and it's definitely been a learning experience for me. I've been in a top 3 alliance for a year and a half, like 3/4 of the time I played the game, or however long, 5/8 or whatever. I've been in a top alliance, so I've always been able to get the good stuff, as far as placing high in event leaderboards and stuff like that, and finishing the alliance milestones quickly and stuff like that. But it's just seeing that's night and day. It's definitely an educational experience. Like last night, we lost a level 41 uncommon armada, and I don't think I've ever lost one, unless people just didn't show up. But people actually showed up to this, and we still lost. So it's interesting.
But they're made for 4-star ships, like full armadas of 4-star ships.
Yeah, but that's the point.
You're not used to it.
That's the point. Like half of Nona has a 4-star ship, even if it's just a jelly.
Yeah,
I'd say more than half.
Yeah, I mean,
about 80%.
Yeah, so it's that's interesting. And again, it's not like I'm saying, it's just this weak alliance. It's just, it is interesting to see the difference in accomplishments in gameplay when you start looking at participation and the power. So definitely a learning experience, and I would suggest that everyone do it. Find an alliance that you're friendly with, you have some friends, and go check it out in between arcs, and it's definitely you'll definitely learn some things about your gameplay and about the differences and the power disparities.
Or try being in a pretty much solo alliance and not completing any of the alliance milestones.
That's true.
Yeah, that's gotta be tough.
Yeah, that's.
Because I think I was looking at the Cal event, and I think for how many people we had to complete it, each of us needed to kill 4,500 ships with an Enterprise in order to reach the first milestone, and
Jeez.
only like 2 of us have an Enterprise.
Well,
yeah, that's not going to work out. It's nice. It's nice finishing Cal like halfway through the first day, or something like that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of those resources you don't realize when you're in a big alliance. You don't realize how much further it pushes your gameplay until you go visit a smaller alliance where they're not hitting, all the milestones or even any of the milestones, and you're like, "Fuck, dude!" Like, yeah, you can do your solo milestones, but you're not getting that extra loot, which is really what helps propel you, especially people who are more geared toward a free to play or I'm gonna coin a new phrase: budget to play, BTP, because there are some people who are kind of like mix and match. I might spend a little here, a little there, but even for those players, extremely important to get those milestones. So I still enjoy my time here. I'm not upset that I came here or anything. I'm not feeling like I'm really missing out on anything that I absolutely need. I'm not regretting it, but it's again, it's an interesting thing to see when you're not used to it, because you think you understand it, but you really don't until you go to the other side of the fence.
Yeah, pay attention to the calendar too, because with some events you have to get back before the start of it, otherwise you won't get the rewards from it.
Oh yeah, like for example, I went to Dead when Faction Hunt just started, so I didn't get any of the Alliance rewards from that. I got nothing, which is fine. The Alliance rewards from Faction Hunt for the Alliance leaderboard are fucking garbage, but But like for this Apex thing, the alliance milestones are good. You actually get some good loot from it. So
Yeah, you probably want to stay through the end of that for sure. Like
So
I
I
had
don't
moved in the middle of one event that actually had pretty good rewards. It was the away teams one,
Mhm.
and I didn't get any of that. Like all this, what I put a ton into it, and then I just realized that it had started already, so I didn't get any of the rewards. But it's okay. It's just one event.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'll be going back to Nona toward the end of this event, or before the before the start of the arc, so I don't miss anything for that. But yeah, super interesting. Yeah, that's all I got. Just nothing negative, just an interesting experience there.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective, going from top 2 to getting no alliance rewards. It's kind of weird, but at some point you just get used to it. But then again, I'm not at the level where I rely on those alliance rewards for progression.
Well, you have a lot more casual gameplay style too, so you're not chomping at the bit to go up in level or bump up a tier or whatever,
What are you trying to say, Kirk? He doesn't progress?
I'm just trying to say you're a fucking tryhard.
No, I just treat this like a game, and I progress the way I want to progress. And that's where, and again, no offense to people who meticulously plan, DJs, who meticulously plan and do the math and go through the cycle of, okay, like to maximize my entire loot for everything I need for, like every single day of every single arc. Here's how much, like 3 hours of planning I need to do the night before. Like, to me, it's a game. I don't care. It's not relevant to me personally. Like, I don't want to make this game a job any more than I did before. And I'll throw a shade of dark for that. And I just progress the way I want to progress. And so I love playing Possum. So, by the way, my notifications have returned since the Scopely's last update. So anybody that hits my base, I get a notification that my base was hit. And it's really fun to play Possum and do the things where, like, people set out like 16 miners and I blow them all up as they come.
16 miners, huh?
Yeah, I think like in a day. Basically, yeah. Well, because for example, like VHC's got Torque, who can one-shot my base, and he loves to do that on every other day. And then, yeah, I mean, he's just being a dick. That's what he's doing. He's always been a dick. And then there was like MBD will call in, one of their level 40 dudes to finish cracking my base. And then as soon as like all the miners start lining up, like I just repair and blow them up as they come through.
You'd think they would get the clue and just stop trying.
Well, it's funny because yesterday, one of the level 42 guys in Dark Leaving, one of the guys that was in Wars a long time ago, he's having an issue with Scopely. I don't think it's a Scopely problem. I think it's a Google Play and an Apple Store issue where if you're outside the United States, your pricing has been increased for your $100 packs by a lot. And so a lot of people ex-US are quitting the game because the game is way too expensive now. More expensive than it's been. Talk about.
I was gonna say as if it weren't already.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like the most expensive mobile game just got more expensive. So people are quitting in good amounts. Hey guys, because I was one system over, I had a bunch of dudes from Dark like, dude, shield up. I'm like, what? Am I getting hit? What do you like? No, but your shield is down. I'm like, so? Like, what's like? Thanks for like letting me know, but there's a purpose to me leaving my shield down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
People just
I
looking
heard
out.
from some people that the PC version, the PC store is not available in some European countries, so they can't even go that route.
They need a VPN then.
Yeah, they could do
Oh
that.
my god!
Oh,
you
know
try?
what? They link your billing zip code from your credit card. I found that out. So like if you're trying to avoid taxes or something, that doesn't work. But I believe if you use a VPN though, you can at least get around being able to buy packs. I think, but somebody would have to try it and confirm.
You gotta pay for some premium VPNs because playing a game over VPN is horrible if you're trying to do it from another country.
Just do it to buy the pack. You just turn your VPN on, buy the pack, and then you turn it off. I don't understand what the issue is.
Yeah, don't you think somebody's going to catch that eventually?
No,
I don't
there's
think they're
nothing they can
going to
do.
care. I think they want
I mean,
you
nobody
to.
doesn't. As long
There's
as they're
nothing
getting
anybody
money.
can do.
I mean, I know that there are some other games that are like region based, and depending upon what you can get, like the first one that comes to mind is that Pokemon Go game, and there were people that were using different stuff like that to for other areas for similar stuff like that. I think for some of the transactions and shit like that, and I think they were getting caught and banned. I can't remember exactly how it went down, so I don't even remember if that's exactly what it was, but it sticks out to me that that's what was going on.
Yeah, but you're talking about like an actual company that cares about its product. Scopely, you could buy and sell your accounts. They won't lift a finger until they're forced to.
Yeah, I mean, TOS is violated every single day, multiple times a day on every single server, and they never lift a finger unless a bunch of people complain. They just don't care that much. As long as they're making their money, they don't care.
I guess it's just a matter of getting on their radar, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, they want the only reason that they respond to is like people have sent mass complaints, right? So they have to activate a chat ban, right, or something of that issue. But I mean, like, I could probably advertise saying, "Hi, I'm TechMan16. I'm a level 35 on server 34. I'm selling my account for $1,000. Anybody want to buy?" And they won't do anything about it. I pretty much guarantee.
I think you would probably need to be a little more quiet about it than that. But yeah, I mean, as long as they can't find any proof that you sold your account, you're good. But I don't know. It's just a rotten thing to do. I don't think anybody should be selling their account, because what ends up happening is you get somebody that comes in, it didn't have to work for whatever they have, and they just abuse the crap out of it and don't give a crap about anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, look, even Tacos is
Everybody
saying.
suffers.
Even Tacos is saying they lit up tickets about this guy who bought an account and they won't do anything about it.
Yeah, I'm not
Tacos,
surprised.
did they have did they have proof that the account was sold? Just out of curiosity.
I've seen listings online for like level 20 accounts for sale that people were paying hundreds of dollars for.
Why?
Yeah, I don't.
Really?
Yeah, it's just I don't think they know how easy it is to get there. They list all these great things about what the account is, and it's like $800 or something. I don't know if it's actually selling, but I've just
I
seen.
highly doubt it. Not when you can spend $1,500 for a level 39 account or whatever. I don't know how much it actually is, but
Yeah, I mean, Orion Star comes to mind. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And people spend a lot more getting there than that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah,
Well,
I guess.
you're
I
never
guess
going
when
to
it.
sell an account for what you put into it, ever.
No. You didn't
I
get to
guess
have the
when you.
experience of clicking all the buttons.
Donald Trump, man, he's awesome. Selling Ops 34, 35 for $650. Server E160 Ops 42, $5,000. Level 49 Federation iOS Android 67 million, 7,500. Ops 44, 3,500. Wow. 42, level 42, 2,800. Ops 50. Count needs sold for family needs. Price is flexible or trade for a 6 to 10 person camper trailer. $20,000. That's awesome.
Camper trade.
Camper. Oh,
Well, that's cool, though.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
What is
Willing
this?
to give up his account for his family. That's cool.
Oh my god. Well, I guess when you've spent so much money on this stupid game that it's worth a camper trailer.
Yeah, I've spent a couple camper trailers on my account. So, yeah.
Wow. Somebody's selling a Stella skin for $1,800. Wow.
how could you
Level
possibly even transfer that to somebody's account?
You can't. He's selling an account, basically. And it has
level 34, $300. Ops 35, $500. Hey, server 9 is selling. How about that? Level 31 for $300. Level 37 for $80. That's a new low.
That's cheap.
Yeah, it is. Must be
Level
a free to play.
36, triple faction lock, $1,500. Level 43, $4,000. Level 42, $3,800. Level 42, $5,000.
I can get $3,800 for a 42 account.
Apparently.
Yeah, server 24.
Well, who knows if they sell for that, but
Ships, Enterprise, level 45. Jelly, level 35. Hydra, level 20. Discovery, 45. Saladin, 45. Intrepid, 45. Horizon, 45. Franklin, 45. Stella, 35.
I think I could. I don't know. I got some decent stuff. Like I'm right around the corner from building up the Valdor. I got a decent sized jelly. I got all the epic ships. Actually,
Level 46
sure
account,
I have every ship.
$4,900. Almost all officers max, serious buyers only, $4,900 firm. This is a great website. Level 22 account.
See some people. You know, I can see some
$75.
people in their 20s going, I would love to just jump to my 40s and it'd be worth that kind of money.
Did you say, how much did you say for a 22 account?
$75.
Dude, no bullshit. That's actually a good value right there.
yeah.
That's actually, I mean, you think about, especially if they have like the
Saves you hours to
Voclus.
play.
Yeah, if you got a Voclus, and I tell you what, if they have a freaking North Star, that's it. Like that's where it's at.
Let me check. 80 million Parseal,
Unmatched
20
most.
million Tritanium, 500K dilithium. Level 23 account, 4 million power, $50. Tier 3 North Star, Tier 3 Voclus, Tier 4 Kara, Tier 4 Botany Bay.
That's a
Klingon
good deal.
friendly.
Yeah. That's good.
I'm gonna have to go buy one of these alts.
That's what I'm saying. That
Building
Is
them.
there anything from server 15?
Server 15?
Yeah.
I don't see server 15 on here. I see a lot of European servers. 166.
buy that baby an account.
Server 15 at Ops 39, $600.
There we go.
Oh, that's
Send me
that's
That's a good deal.
send me that. I'll work them down.
You'll work them down.
Then you could have a show on it, tell the experience of buying an account.
no, you
Oh
can't.
my God, yes.
No, I
Handy.
can't.
No,
I'll
no,
get
you
it deleted.
can't. Yeah, just for anybody from Scopely, this is strictly for research and educational purposes. Nobody's buying any accounts. Federal law
No.
says you can't use anything produced for entertainment against anyone criminally. Shut up. Go away.
For science.
Yes, we're just playing around.
Science?
Wink,
It's
wink.
under
we're just-
fair use.
Nudge.
We're totally just joking.
It is interesting.
Technically, as Ripper stated way back when, it's one account per device. So if that person tends to hand over a separate device for a separate account, that doesn't violate
There's
TOS.
nothing. Exactly. There's nothing. There's no reason I couldn't get an account and run it on my computer and run my main account just on my phone like I normally play it 99.9% of the time.
Well, join us next month where we test this hypothesis, and we'll see if Handy still has his account.
Well, then
Hey,
I can
level-
talk about it.
Hey,
Just come
level
on.
42,
Just come on as
US.
Randy.
Randy.
I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna do?
Randy.
I'm gonna sell my account. Y'all are fucked. I'm gonna leave a list behind. These are the people you need to hit. All my friends.
All right, here we go. Level 49 account, server 34, $275.
No way.
You're
lying.
That's
You're
what
lying.
That's what Handy's. That's what Handy's selling it for.
I'm not 49.
No,
Oh, that's
you've
right. You're 50.
You've offended the 50.
Jesus, call me a 49.
I
What's wrong
know.
with you?
I know.
It's like
I basically
That's like
get hit by
a
level
kick
50.
to the balls, man. How dare you?
Do they really rake you over the coals to get from 49 to 50? Like, is it?
Yeah, it's a bitch.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on building an epic. Freaking
Building an epic.
ridiculous. Fucking joke.
Let's go back to page one.
Did you need to work on your rep to get the Entei? Did you need to get your rep up to get the Entei?
No, I've had Fed locked for a long time.
Oh, okay.
I was on the phone with him when he got the Entei. That was a hilarious experience.
Yeah. Well, I was online.
Hey man, go to the Alliance store and count how many gifts you got. I forgot how many packs I bought.
There's a whole page.
That is a true story. I actually said that to Kirk.
Let's see. STFC Ops level 50, very well developed. Most of the components are 49, some 50. Substantial research completed. Total power 66.37 million. Power destroyed 222 billion. Total station strength 283 million. There are 3 4-star ships: Tier 7 Katinga, Tier 3 Coronar, and a Tier 10 Jellyfish. $32,000.
I'm sorry, did you say power destroyed was 222 billion?
Oh, sorry, no, 222 million.
Then that's really low.
$30,000.
That's really
Yeah,
that's
32.
222 million would put you between 95 and 96 in our power destroyed leaderboard.
I think this person was a free-to-play person, or not a a PVE person.
Yeah. I was gonna say free to play.
Yeah,
Dude,
not
do you
free-to-play. No.
Now, do you think
Dude.
somebody would pay that?
I don't even do that
No.
much PvP, and I have 204 million destroyed.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me go back. Donald Trump station power was. Let me double check. Station power was 283 million. Level 49, Federation iOS Android 67 million. Power, $7,500. Newton level 30, Kelvin level 35, 3 jellyfish, 1 of each G4 miners, max G3 epics with 2 extras, each 2 max meridians, 2 of each G3 faction miner, 2 Frank A's, 2 botany bays, 2 discos, 2 stellas, with 149 out of 250 stellar research plus more. $7,500 is not bad for a level 49 account.
What's interesting is a lot of this information, all Scopely would have to do is go look at people's accounts, and they could probably figure out who these people are.
I mean, it'll take some work because they have a lot of accounts.
Yeah, but if you know what server it's from and what ops level.
I mean, would they really want to, though? Because it's probably either they're going to quit the game and the account will not get used, or they sell it and then they can sell more packs to that account.
Exactly.
Is it against TOS to sell an account, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But money's more important than morals. Okay, Handy.
Oh, of course. Duh.
Level 44, or Ops 44, Server 29, $2,500. ISS, Jelly, Augur, D4, Enterprise, Burrell, Saladin, Dar, Stella, Second Stella, Max Franklin, Secondary Franklin, Discovery, Max Botany Bay, Devore, Tier 6, Secondary Devore.
Any meridians?
No meridians. I don't see any meridians.
I
gotta take a look at this Stella skin. EU, Max, Gork, Nero, Kirk, close to Khan, have Leslie and Harrison. 1.2 million Vidar, Max, Stella. 2 Devores. Serious 4.4 million ISS Jelly, loads of primes, $1,800.
A lot of this stuff, I think, to the average person would be like, that's crazy, but we know how much all that stuff costs, and honestly, every one of these accounts is a hell of a value if you were to know what you're getting. Like, all of them
absolutely. I mean, every single one of these is pennies on the dollar. Almost all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's
the higher level
pennies?
Ones are.
I don't think pennies covers it. I think this is like denominations below 1/10 of pennies.
No, not necessarily.
We just need to make sure. You just need to make sure my wife doesn't find out about this website, because then you're going to see 42 account, close to Valdor, serious inquiries only, wife making me sell it. Like. Anyway, what else we got? We got anything else?
Oh, I found one on server 34. Oh, here we go. $688 for a level 35 account on server 34.
Humstuff.
$688. Awesome price. I have over $6,000 invested real money. Should be easy way to start with an advantage over the rest of the players. Message if you're interested for a level 35 account.
To anyone listening from any other server, if you buy that account thinking you're going to have a leg up, you're going to get your shit kicked in.
It does say the user
middle of the pack right there, isn't it?
It does say the user is inactive, hasn't logged into their account in over 60 days. So he must have sold this or something.
Jesus.
I wonder how many people go in there and buy these accounts and resell them.
I don't know. I'm interested. I would be interested if I were to feel like I wanted to spend the money in buying one of those smaller accounts and just kind of just playing around with it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because somebody who's going to be a level, whatever. I'm 42. I'm gonna know a lot more about strategy and stuff like that. So if I were to play that account passively for a couple months, I bet you I could beef it up and probably flip it and sell it for a little bit more.
Yeah, but there's also the risk you're sitting on it for 6 months trying to sell it and nobody wants it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like if you spent $50 on some low level account, like that's like going out and getting drinks with your buddy one night a month. Like it's at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal if you don't, if you lose your investment or whatever. But it'd still be fun to mess around at that point and just screw around. Then you can have a server on another account, and then because it's your alternate account, you could totally just like go retro chef and just go hit everybody, and you don't care because it doesn't matter.
Oh wow! I found one dude. One of his accounts is sold, and this is funny. It's the same guy is selling multiple accounts. So, Kirk, to your point, I think some people already do that.
Yeah, I'm sure. You get an account and beef it up a little bit, and then turn around and sell it. And maybe these people selling their level 22, 23 accounts, maybe that's what they do. They just start a new game, get on, they just bump it up there and then turn around and sell it. And then for some fucking, idiot like me that's like, oh, that'd be cool, $50, whatever.
Here's a level 46 account going for $2,500. 42 million power, 1 billion Fed max faction lock, 10 million locked, 10 plus million Kelvin maxed epic officers. 2 Meridians, max auger, 500,000 total faction credits each. I spent 10 times the asking price upgrading this account. This is a deal. Wow. That sounds about right, because when Darius was here, he said it was 28,000 that he spent on his now level 47 account. So that 1/10 the price. That's crazy.
I got a question before we get done here, because I'm pretty close to being able to do it. Should I go ahead and get a Kelvin?
No.
I mean, I like the ship, but it's up to you, man.
Think about the ship parts that you have to put into it.
I already have like 60,000 uncommon ship parts.
There you go.
But, with me being more of a...
get you to like tier 3. Provided that you have all the try you need.
That's what I'm saying, is it worth it for me to try to divide the other resources that I have to have these two G4 ships?
You're going to want to focus on one for now.
I'll probably end up getting... I'll probably end up getting one just because I'm not really like a ship collector, but I do like to have every ship. And I do. I have every ship that's available up to this point. So I might end up doing it later on down the road, but especially since my main faction is Romulan, so I'm looking forward to the Tribune, 38 years from now. And
all right, how about this one? Ops 50 best account in the entire game. All buildings max. All current research max. All faction locked at 1 billion. Every ship in the game, including all 3 G3 epics, 1 max, 2 are tier 10. 50 trillion par, 900 trillion trite. That's trillion with a T. All officers maxed except Borg and newly released, max 5 of 10. Tons more. I wonder if this is Ska selling his account.
What's the price?
$50,000.
Oh, that's a deal.
I mean, it is a deal.
He's probably got 5 to 6 times that.
At least.
Maybe.
In tokens.
I don't know.
Oh, no, like actually spent money. Oh, yeah. 300K range, absolutely.
The fuck's gonna buy that?
But nobody's.
What's
I
left
doubt
to do,
anybody's
though?
going to buy that.
Here's my thing. The people that are that into the game that also have that kind of money have already spent that kind of money on their own account. What the fuck are they going to do with another level 50 account?
Right.
Don't underestimate spending stupid money.
Never underestimate the predictability of stupidity.
Exactly.
Anyway, we got anything else?
I don't think so.
Nah,
That's about it.
I think this was fun. So thank you to Donald Trump who introduced me to this to this website. I am having so much fun looking through it.
We're so glad, Tech.
Well, this is because I'm looking at all these accounts, and some of these have been sold, and I'm just like checking out the sold accounts, and some of them are pretty good deals actually.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But the 50,000 one, man.
Sometimes people just don't even necessarily want the money. They just need the account gone and out of their control so they can stop playing. Because some people just can't help them freak themselves.
Yeah, that just goes into people who have no self-control. Hey, level 20 account for $200. Anybody want it?
Oh, that's steep, man.
Yeah, I just started my own 20.
How about level 22 for $500?
As much money as people spend on this, man, investing in these other accounts may be better than Bitcoin at the end of the day.
Oh my God!
I don't know about that.
Wow,
Anyway.
This is an old account from 2019. Look at all the old imagery. Whoa.
Anyway, let's wrap it up.
Alrighty. Who wants to go out on a snappy comeback or a snappy go away line?
It's usually my territory.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Kirk. Take us away.
To a place where bold BD can do the same shit as Nona, and it's okay.
Excellent. Thanks everybody for listening. This has been Trek Talk. I'm TechMan16.
And I'm that guy himself.
And I'm Handy.
We'll see you guys next time. Feel free to join the after show.